to this recording. I am southbound on State Highway 1. This is the dirty back streets of Levin though. I just like to drive on the east side of the railway tracks rather than down the main street, but eventually we'll jump back over the railway tracks, get back on the State Highway, southbound towards Wellington. So, Levin to Wellington. Because of today's severe weather alert, I've decided to record the final hour of my journey. Yeah, mostly because if something hectic happens, I want to record it. I mean, I am recording it. I've got the dash cam here, but let's get it in 4K. So the winds are severe today. Actually, the journey so far, because I've been coming down from the north, the journey so far has been mostly uneventful. A few gusts here and there, just a few little itty bitty ones. I've been out in worse days, worse weather than it's been so far today. But to the east is the Tararua Ranges, and most of the wildest weather is east of the ranges. You probably won't see them, it's pretty cloudy. But you know, if you're looking at the map, you can see Tararua Ranges in the east. On the other side of that, there's a place called Wairirapa. It's going to be pretty severe over there. And in the south, the city of Wellington, Lower Hutt, Upper Hutt, etc. are in for a hectic time. And that's where we're going. I've got to remember to put the news on. I want to listen to the news in 1 minute. So my plan for if I publish this recording is to time-lapse it. I'm thinking it's going to be about 60 minutes of footage, so I'll shrink that down to 6 minutes of time lapse to play back. So yeah, the total presentation shouldn't be more than, I don't know, about 8 minutes to cater for all this preamble talking that I've just been doing. But anyway, I'm going to put the radio on and listen to that as I usually do. We'll listen to that. I don't know if I'll include it in the final thing, but it might be interesting to hear. I might just include the interesting bit, because, you know, I want to hear the bit where they talk about the mayhem that's been going on around the country because of the severe weather. It's time for the fucking news!
RNZ News at 11 o'clock. Good morning, Akamari, Anidi Ashton. Extreme weather is causing problems around the South Island and Lower North Island, including a major power cut across much of the top of the South. About 90,000 customers lost power across North Canterbury, Malra, Nelson, Tasman and the West Coast this morning amid rare red level wind warnings. Power to North Canterbury has been restored and work has been continuing to get other areas reconnected. West Power says it won't know if there's damage to its network until Transpower repairs its circuits. The West Coast Network's Chief Executive Peter Armstrong says that will take time.
When we lose supply from Transpower, it's difficult to track what's actually happening on our network when that part of the network is no longer live. So I actually don't know the extent of that at this stage on the parts of our network that have been affected.
Peter Armstrong says the extent of damage to the local network should become clear over the next couple of hours. Nelson's MP says the city's hospital was without power for an hour this morning when its backup generator failed during the outage. Rachel Boyack says she was alerted by members of the public and has been working with ministers to ensure there was a plan to restore power. Te Whatu Ora has confirmed Nelson Hospital is now running on generator supply while the network power is being re-established. It says a backup battery kept critical systems running during the outage and no patients were affected. Ms Boyack says it's fortunate no one was in theatre or using a ventilator at the time. She says the failure is deeply concerning. A Nelson cafe owner says the power cut was abrupt. Little Dove Cafe co-owner Andrew Clancy says the cafe was about quarter full when the power went out in the middle of the morning rush.
We've had people wanting to, or asking us whether or not we run on gas so that we can supply coffee or breakfast and the like. So it's a major disruption to a lot of people. We just hope that everyone's safe.
Almost 1,700 properties in Christchurch and the Selwyn district are also without power. Orion has reported outages are affecting parts of the city as well as towns in the Selwyn district, including Sheffield, Springfield and Lincoln. Net Service says the entire South Island and most of the Lower North Island will be affected by the storm. Net Service head of Weather News, Heather Keats, says people shouldn't ignore warnings.
So we're talking gusts of between 130 and 150 kilometres an hour. These are incredibly strong winds. These are wind gusts that are stronger than what those regions experienced on Tuesday.
South Island farmers are working to keep farms running amid power cuts, road closures and damaging damaging winds. They're also keeping an eye on rising rivers. State-owned farming enterprise Palmu Farms has 130 staff at 24 farms in Canterbury, the West Coast and Malra.
These people are extra
Upper
slow
South
today.
General Manager Cam Walker says rivers across the regions are rising and they've been preparing farms for the winds.
Well, everyone's got concerns at the moment. Definitely the gale force winds across the Canterbury region is the focus for us today. The rivers are up through there with the West Coast rain has got a so and dry hours back to back. Luckily, no disruptions.
Cam Walker says there have been a few power cuts, but farms have prepared with generators to keep milking going. Otago Regional Council says extensive flooding is likely in Glenuki today as heavy rain sets in. It's also expecting flooding in low-lying Queenstown streets near Lake Wakatipu and on the foreshore of Lake Wellington. Queenstown Lakes District Council says its Emergency Operations Centre is tracking rain, river and lake levels across the district. Meanwhile, strong winds, fallen trees and slips have caused several South Island highways to close. They include State Highway 73 between Springfield and Ortida and State Highway 7A from the Hanma Springs turnoff. State Highway 6, including the Haast Pass between Haast and Makarura, is closed due to a slip, and fallen trees have closed State Highway 7 between Waipara and Te Kua Range. Even with our headlines. Extreme weather is hitting parts of the South Island and lower North Island where rare red wind warnings are in place. Work has been going on throughout the morning to get power back on to tens of thousands of people across the top of the South Island. Fire crews have been responding to dozens of calls, predominantly about roofs lifting. The vast majority are in Canterbury, and there have been others in the Wellington region and on the west coast.
Of these restaurants. And he's caught at the beginning of the film, he's sentenced to decades in prison, his whole life falls apart. But Manchester has this special ability to notice details that others don't, and he uses that to escape from prison.
Wellington? Never heard of Wellington. Wellington. And look, Welllington. Did you see that?